Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andy Danata, and I'm here with my wonderful wife,
Charlie Adauta.
You're welcome to Time Out with Charlie and
welcome.
Andy. And today we promise you it's going to be very exciting. About 6 years ago, in one of our counseling sessions before our wedding day, my pastor told me this. He said, there's no way you can have two people trained from different families come together and not have issues. That's what he said. And let me tell you something, about 6 years now in marriage, I can tell you that that is really true. The background will speak in the marriage.
Yeah.
The man was trained separately using different set of values. The woman was trained separately using different sets of values. And so you come together, this value has to be merged to one, but the merging process, the beating process to bring this into one is really, fun sometimes and very troubling sometimes and all of that. So today we want to talk to you about the effect of backgrounds in relationship and then in marriage, and we have Charlie to start up with that for us today. Yes, Charlie.
Okay, our backgrounds reflect so much in our marriage because we react to situations differently because of our upbringing. I was brought up from a house very quiet, kind of, and he was brought up from a house that's quite outspoken. And then when we met, we actually did not have issues because over time we were able to learn how to just blend in. So sometimes we found out the strengths in both of these backgrounds. So when the need comes for a certain background to reflect, we support the quiet background and push it forward. When the need comes for the vibrant and outspoken part, we support this part and push it forward. There's no how you can eliminate such problems in marriage. You have to confront it. This is the reason why we said that marriage is work. And this is a part of the work. So when we say it's work, we're not just saying that, okay, you have to be doing something. We're saying that there are areas where you have to come together, you have to rule out yourselves to make sure that things work. We have been able to become selfless by doing this because sometimes when I feel that he should understand some things this way because this is the way I was brought up, or this is the way that my father does it, this is the way that my brother does it, it becomes a problem. If I insist on this, it becomes a problem because he wouldn't want to bend because this has happened over years. He was brought up like this over years and I was brought up like this over years. So what we did is just the blending of both backgrounds to make sure that we work together and have a wonderful marriage. I would say before he comes up, before he says something, that the fact that for the guys, the fact that your sister treats you a certain way or you were brought up in a certain way and this is the way that your sister was brought up, doesn't mean that you have to insist that your girlfriend who was brought up from another background behaves exactly as your sister. These are part of the things that creates tension and chaos in relationships and marriage. You have to consider the background through which or from which your partner came from. So you cannot insist, or the woman, you cannot insist that the man becomes your father. This is how my father talks, this is how my father behaves, or this is how my brother behaves. Because you have to also consider the background from which this person was brought up or the environment from which this person was brought up. Okay?
Thank you so much, Charlie, for that. Now, the first thing we're saying today is acknowledging that there's a difference in your background. The moment you're able to track that difference or trace that difference and admit that this is the drawing line, this is the difference, then you can begin to work on it. And let me tell you something, nobody came from a totally terrible home. Nobody.
True.
I mean, there's always a virtue. If you're saying that person came from a ghetto family, then he's street smart, then that's what you're trying to say. If you're saying that person came from, what they call in Nigeria, Botsi family, from a wealthy family, then there's an advantage to that. It means that person is intelligent, he's enlightened, he's exposed, or she's exposed, and all of that. And so the first key to handling this difference in background is admitting the right and the wrong. One of the things that helped us with Charlie is we sat down together and we broke this thing down. In fact, I wish we had time. Maybe one of these days, Charlie, we're having a conference live.
We'll share.
You see that Charlie and I come from a totally different, Very different. If you know us personally, you wonder how we even met and all of that. True. And so, but we sat down and were able to dissect, just dissect what part of my family training I had to admit. Like one of the things, I say this, I hope that my family members are not watching this.
Okay.
We were trained to win. at all costs, right? You can hardly catch any of those of you that are watching and know my friend. You don't catch us in any argument. No, we win every argument. We win. We will drag it to every place so we can win, and we will not nag. We bring punchlines, and you know, everybody is a lawyer in my house. Everybody knows how to just bend everything and all of that. But when I, you know, began to walk closer to God, in fact, not just marriage and all of those things, you see, God began to teach me something different. You know, it's okay to lose. It's okay to lose. It's okay to fail. It was difficult, and when I got married, I got to realize that yes, sometimes it's okay. It's not every time that you win every argument. There's no payment for it. Nobody has ever paid anybody for winning any argument, right? And so we got to realize that this is it. Now that it was bad, at least that part of me always wanting to win and always wanting to, you know, get away with everything is not okay. So we knew what to drop in my own background. Now there's something about me that my wife has always said. He said, you are, you know, we know when it comes to defending us, when it comes to standing up as a man, nobody, she doesn't need to stand up for me because of my background.
True.
We would, I mean, come on now, you cannot just cross our path. If I'm quiet about certain things, then you should be afraid. People that are very close know that if I'm quiet about something, you should be afraid. It means that I am not going to be foolish, I'm not going to be stupid, and that's a good training. I was brought up in what they call ghetto, yes, you know. So we're saying that that particular part she actually admitted, and I admit that that thing is good. So we're saying that there are certain traits from both sides. We talk about my wife is a great listener. She would, I mean, there are qualities that we just looked into her life and said, this is very wonderful. I need to learn like you. I need to learn to listen like you. I need to pay attention like you. And she cares about so many details. She cares about so many details. She can just give up. She chooses her battles wisely, and that's a great trait. And so combine these good sides from my side and combine the good side from her side. Let me tell you something. You see, you combine this, you have a very wonderful, healthy marriage. And remember that one of the keys most people don't know, Charlie, is that when we talk about merging these values, these great values, everything we act out in marriage, our children are looking at this. In fact, what we're saying is the biggest advantage of this, Charlie. Very simple. Imagine Sophie and Micah growing up with these two great qualities. It means somehow we're able to filter the bad and leave the good for them. And then, you know, we have infused that. Somehow we're training our kids to be great listeners. Somehow we're training our kids to pay much attention to details, to be very respectful to people, to be able to stand up for themselves when the time, when it's right and all of that. And so we're saying, please don't just castigate. The first thing I said, very simple. Trace what is right from that background. Trace what is wrong. Admit that it is wrong. And then that will help you know what to filter out in that background and know how to engage. Yes, Charlie.
Wow, thank you so much. And he made it very, very easy by saying that first you must identify the difference. You must acknowledge that there's a difference.
There's a difference,
yes. Then you must identify the difference. After acknowledging, okay, we're from different backgrounds. So what is the difference? What are the produce or the products of these different backgrounds? Then after identifying the products of the different backgrounds, then we filter these backgrounds. Yes, pick out the ones that are good, then let's go the ones that are bad. So when we come to merge, we merge together the good qualities, the strengths of each background. So we don't have to take everything. So if you didn't get it at the beginning or when he was speaking, he was not trying to say you get everything all mixed up together and work with. No, pick out the strengths of each background. Each background has strengths. You cannot tell us that somebody, your partner from a certain background, has nothing at all that is good enough to merge with yours or contribute to the relationship, to grow the relationship. You can't have it all. There are certain things that I so love about his background that sometimes I wish to be able to just confront issues, like just go all out, and I sometimes admire that, and I began to learn it too. And just like he said, I'm a very good listener, he began to learn it too. And now our children are benefiting from it. Those in ministry with us, yes, our children, both spiritual, biological and spiritual, are benefiting. People who are connected to us, friends, family, are also benefiting from it because we got to learn. So in essence, we're trying to say that when you come together to merge these things or bring it together, there's no more I win anymore. The coming together of both backgrounds means we win. So there's no more, okay, I want to win. Just like he said earlier, when he came, his family, they don't lose any argument. That's very true about them. They don't lose an argument.
We have learned to start losing now.
Okay. I was going to say that. Okay. They don't lose any argument. But like he said, he loses arguments now. And the truth is, he does not lose. Because if two of us gain, then we have won. It is losing when your partner fails and then you win. So when you stand alone, when you are two of you together as one, when you stand alone and say, yeah, I've won, you haven't really won because your partner did not win. But when we win together, it is a win-win for both of us.
Very true.
And when one person loses and the other win, both of us are losers because it doesn't really make sense. We have to come together. Agreeing together is what makes our strength. So we are saying that your backgrounds can become your strength and a strong force to strengthen your marriage and to promote the beauty of your marriage.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, we're saying it's very simple. You can take a pen, you can write, and please, you can admit. It took some time. I remember before we began to admit and all of that. And I remember, Charlie, when we got married, I said, please, can you open up your mouth and talk to that person? You are not happy about how that person treated you and all of that. Say, well, in my family, we don't really do it like this. I say, this is real life you are facing. Don't say that in your family, you don't do it like this. People are going to ride on you. People are going to do this and all of those things. You see, that's a very powerful strength from my family that she picked up, and then several qualities that I actually display right now, I got from her own background and all of that. You see, that it's very simple. If you identify it and you acknowledge it and you get to filter these things and you get to apply these things, I'm telling you the honest truth, your kids are going to be great. Your kids are going to have a better background. Your kids are going to have an advantage. It's like fusing two breeds together and it's going to be great. Yes, Charlie, do you have anything to say before we wrap this up?
I just want to say that the blend is beautiful.
Very beautiful.
If you just let yourself, you will see the beauty in it. So I'm able to confront issues now without fear. Before I shy away, but now the blend has made me a better person, able to handle situations better. Just try the blend. It's beautiful. You'd see.
Yes, guys, take that, Jota. Make sure you write it down. We'll see you tomorrow on Facebook, 7 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Goodbye and God bless you. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Bye-bye.